Hello folks, welcome to another video by the brilliant expat Taffy. A video titled, Do the LRO photos prove that Apollo was faked? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Now, as you can see in the title folks, was Apollo faked? Well, according to this photo, the answer is yes. But, folks, according to these monthly paid NASA shills, the answer is no. But, according to the brilliant expat Taffy, yes, Faze, Joan Evans, the brilliant expat Taffy, the answer is yes. This photo does prove that NASA faked the moon landings, folks. Now folks, for those not aware of the situation, what we've got here is a photo that NASA claims was taken by what they call a lunar orbiter, an orbiter going around the moon, and it's taken a photo of the landing sites. This is one of those landing sites they claim they can see. Well folks, in past videos, the brilliant expat Taffy has proven, without question, that they have not got any LRO orbiting the moon, and these photos are fake. And what I'm going to provide you with in this video, folks, is not just evidence of these photos being fake, but NASA actually admitting that they are fake. Yes, admitting that they are fake, folks. Now, what you'll get from all the nutters, Joan Evans, Phase 52, Brian Pop Robson, and Screwball Screwy, you're going to get it off them. Ah, shut up, you stupid idiot, NASA haven't admitted any such thing. Well, we'll see, folks. We'll see. You're going to see why expat Taffy is so brilliant. Now, folks, this photo here, supposed to have been taken in 2011. There have been many experts examining these photos to try and discover their authenticity. What we had was Jara White trying to prove it was fake by potching about with pixels. But the brilliant expat Taffy didn't need to go to such lengths. Now folks, study this photo. Put your brain into action. Think of the words of the great Sherlock Holmes. From what you see, what do you deduce? Well, folks, I can tell you that the brilliant expat Taffy can spot something in this photo that tells him that it's not just fake, it's 100% impossible, folks. Impossible. And I'm going to show you NASA admitting that it's impossible. Not just fake, folks, 100% impossible. Well, what about it, folks? Have any of you spotted it yet? I'm going to show you what I spotted in this photo that, like I said, not only proves it's fake, but proves it's entirely impossible, and NASA admitting it is impossible, and proof that despite what the idiots Phase 52 and Joan Evans say, it proves the brilliant expat Taffy is what he says he is. Brilliant, because folks, the serious anomaly in this photo was not spotted by anyone else from hundreds of millions of people throughout the world. Only one spotted it. Only one, and that is the brilliant expat Taffy, folks. Nobody else in the world spotted it. Now, first thing to notice here, all these photos from this supposed to be an LRO orbiting the moon, as you can see, they are photoshopped. Now, what you're going to have is all the NASA nutters displaying what mentally insane idiots they are by stating Photoshop doesn't mean the photos are fake. Well, when the brilliant expat Taffy shows you not only are the photos fake, but they are impossible 100%, you'll see what mentally insane idiots these NASA paid shills are. NASA paid shills Joan Evans and her sock puppet, Phase 52, Brian Pop Robson and Screwball Screwy. You're going to see what mentally insane idiots they are. Well, there you are. Take a look at it again. Has it clicked yet? Have anybody spotted the one thing that only the brilliant expat Taffy in the whole world spotted? Have you spotted anything that tells you it's impossible? Well, take a closer look. I'll give you another closer look at it. A cropped section coming up. There you are. Now, can you spot it? The clue that tells you it's not only fake, it's entirely impossible. Have you got it yet? Okay, if none of you have spotted it, I'll give you some examples to help you assess the situation. Examples taken here on the Earth. So you can see for yourself. If you want to do some experimenting, you can go and do some experimenting. Okay, folks, here it comes. Take a look at this photo here. From what you see, what do you deduce? This is a newly constructed road outside my house. They're just laying the foundations for a new road where they'd be putting 13 inches of concrete on top. Now, what do you notice about this photo? Well, one thing I can notice that Brian Pop Robson claims must be pareidolia. I can notice two different colours on this road. I've got a lighter colour and I've got a darker colour. The lighter colour is on the undisturbed soil. It's dry. The darker colour is where vehicles, excavators have been running over the road and they've disturbed the topsoil and they've exposed the subsoil, which is darker. Extremely darker, folks. And why is it darker? There's only one answer. It's because that subsoil has got a water content. It's got a water content, folks. Now, folks, take a look at this statement here in another video made by Joan Evans, but put on the net under the idea of the sock puppet Phase 52. If you want to prove these photos are fake, you need to prove it with something beyond your opinion. Well, Joan Evans, Phase 52, is it my opinion that we've got two different colours on this road here? Is it pareidolia? I can see a darker colour subsoil created from excavators or other vehicles running over this temporary road. Now, is that opinion? Now, this evidence of water in the subsoil is something I displayed in an earlier video when I proved the LROs were fake. A video titled Expat Taffy's Dogs Prove That the Moon Landings Were Faked. And here is how Expat Taffy's dogs display that not just the moon landings are fake, but these LRO photos are fake and 100% impossible. Now, take a look here, folks. Here's what I displayed before. Because the ground is so hot in Thailand, the top dries out very quickly and it gets hot. It's too hot for dogs to sleep on. So what they do, they dig a hole. They dig a hole to get down to darker, wet soil below. A subsoil that's got a water content. Now look at the dip that Bobby has dug here, marked A. And then you can see the other one that Dodo dug out, marked B. Now what do you see different in the two of those dips? Well, The one Bobby dug out, A, is starting to dry out. But the one Dodo just dug, B, is darker. He's only just dug it out. You've got two different colours of these dips here. And what that means is the one marked A is drying out. And eventually it'll be the same colour as the topsoil. Now, coming back to this photo here, the newly constructed road outside my house, let me tell you that if no more vehicles run over this road, and with the temperature in Thailand around about 37 degrees centigrade, it only takes about 2 to 3 hours for this wet subsoil to dry out, and the colour will be uniform right over the road. There won't be two colours. There will be just one colour, all the dry, golden, sandy colour throughout the road. And it only takes 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, in 37 degrees centigrade, folks. Now, coming back to this photo here, where NASA are displaying two different colours for the soil, a light grey colour and a dark or black colour for what they call the astronauts' walking tracks and the rovers' tracks. They are showing them as black, darker. Now, how can that be? The temperature on the moon is supposed to be around about 100 degrees centigrade, nearly 3 times as hot as Thailand. So what they're trying to tell us here is the astronauts and the rover disturb the topsoil to reveal a darker soil underneath, which can only be caused by water on the moon, something they always denied. There's no water on the moon, so there can't be any darker subsoil. And if there was water there, and these lines are created from dark subsoil, wet subsoil being displayed, then don't you think that with 3 times the temperature of Thailand and 40 years of being roasted by the sun, don't you think they would have dried out by now? There's the biggest error. There you are, folks, something nobody in the world thought of, only the brilliant expat Taffy. The evidence that proves they're not only fake, they are impossible. And remember what I said? NASA are going to be admitting that they are fake and impossible? Well, here's the evidence coming up that NASA are admitting. They dropped a boo-boo. So what do? They try to correct it. They're admitting that the brilliant expat Taffy is right. They're admitting these photos are fake. They're admitting that they're impossible. Because what is their next step of action? Well, here it is coming up, folks. Yes, there it is, folks. Only 2 weeks ago, an article in the Daily Mail by NASA, Water on the Moon. They are now claiming they have discovered water on the moon. They think that's going to account for these subsoil wet tracks that the brilliant expat Taffy has identified. That is nothing more than an admission that they dropped a boo-boo, and that expat Taffy is really brilliant because he's the only one in the world who spotted it. They're now trying to cover up their so-called tracks, folks, but they forgot one very, very important thing, didn't they? Yes, they forgot one very important thing, folks. Where they can try and concoct another load of nonsense, lies, to try and fool the public of the world and give explanations for these tracks being darker, they still cannot give an explanation why in 100 degrees centigrade that they haven't dried out in over 40 years, when they would dry out within a couple of hours in just 37 degrees in Thailand. Yes, folks, as they say, when you make up a lie, you need to make up another dozen to cover it up. Now, folks, take a look at this here. Here is what they call Surveyor 3. They claim they landed this on the moon in 1967. And they claim it sampled the soil. But as you can see, it's been photoshopped, as I showed before. Well, there's no report of the sampling of this soil showing any presence of water in the subsoil, is there? You won't get any report from this piece of equipment stating it found water on the moon. And you won't get any report of any of the astronauts or any of the missions who were supposed to have brought back samples. You won't find any report of any of them discovering water in the subsoil on the moon. It's only because the brilliant expat Taffy has revealed the fakery in the LRO photos. So there you are, folks. That concludes the video. Was Apollo faked? According to the brilliant expat Taffy, the answer is yes. And the evidence is provided. It's not my opinion. It's there staring you in the face. Anyone who disagree, get in your garden and do a little experiment. Go to some dry soil, dig away 4 to 6 inches of the topsoil and reveal darker soil underneath, and sit by patiently and watch it dry out in the sun. You can do the experiments yourself. You won't have to wait 40 years for it to dry out, folks. Point proven. The brilliant expat Taffy is right. According to these photos, the answer is yes, they did fake the Apollo landings and they faked all the LRO photos. There is no such craft.